Hello, everybody. Hey, I actually have another camera today. Not sure how well that's going to work out, but we're going to try it. Hope everybody's doing well. I am moving a little slow. Just finished up C2E2, and that can always be a bit of a power drain. But let's take a look here. Hey, Stinker Buns. Hope you sum up your panel at C2E2. I wish you could have been there. You know what? I'll do that for you, Stinker Buns. Eli, hello. Good to see you, Eli. Everybody can hear me okay, I hope. I'm drinking La Croix. I've talked trash about it for years, and here I am drinking it. I don't know what happened, but at some point, I started drinking La Croix sometimes. Usually when it's free. Okay. Give it a couple minutes here. Oh, I was going to put up a link here. Let me just do that, folks. Let me know how you guys' weekends were. Any of you guys at C2E2, I wonder? I did see a lot of people. I have to say, I'll say this a few times, but I met a lot of people this weekend and talked to a lot of people. So if I forget people, I forget your names, I forget who I talked to, I sincerely apologize. Everybody who came by, I am so honored and grateful that you did come by and say, hello and buy stuff. But let me just put these links up, and then we will get through some books. I'll put some books out here that I got. What else do I got here? Here we go. All right, there's one. Let's do one more. I'm not going to do all three places because I'm lazy. All right. All right. Usually, one of the reasons I don't turn on the face camera is because I have to have this light so bright that sometimes if it's lighter outside, it just like washes me out. Not that anybody really cares what I'm looking like, but all right. Okay, sorry, almost there. Gives us some other folks some time to show up. All right, there we go. Okay, John W. Part-Time Comics. Hey, man. I've heard you've had I've seen you posting. You've been working on a lot of cool stuff, man. That's awesome. I don't know if I saw you, if you were at the show this week. I feel like I usually see you at C2E2. Maybe we did say hi for a second, or am I confusing with a different show? Anyway, C2E2 was awesome, y'all. It was a super fun show. It's one of my favorite shows because it's a local show, so it's easy for me. But it's also one of my favorite shows because it's a big enough show that a lot of my friends come to town for it. Whether that be other artists or fans or people. But there's kind of this known thing with comic artists that a lot of times we only see each other at shows, and then of course at shows you're so busy that you don't always get a chance to really hang out. So it's like great to see everybody, but then also you don't always have a chance to hang out, so that can be a little bit frustrating. But this year, a lot of my friends were in town. It was really good to see my buddies like Ryan Stegman and Kenny Porter and Ryan Lee, who we'll talk about a little bit later, Brian Levels, Jason Howard, Baldemar Rivas, oh my gosh, so many people. Xander Cannon, just lots of buds at the show. Jimmy Kusei, so many cool people. And then also sometimes you only see people that are local at the shows too, like people that you haven't, you'd think, oh, we live in the same city. We should be seeing each other all the time. So, it's good to catch up with people like Sean Dove and Jim Terry and just buddies from around the city that I don't get to see as much as I'd like. Ariel Chan, one of my former assistants, really cool. Eddie Campbell even was tabling right behind us, and he's good buddies with my friend Landis, who was table mates with me. So it was a really fun show, and a lot of people knew about the Schlub, which was really cool for me. It was the first show I'd done since the Schlub came out, so it was really fun to have people bring it up to me that bought it at the stores, but it was also fun for people to be discovering it for the first time, seeing it at the show, and got to meet some fans and some original art collectors that have been really into the new stuff. And so it's been a really fun show. And we did do a Schlub panel, and I'll give you the quick lowdown on it. You know, it was a great group of people in the room that had some really good questions. Kenny Porter and Ryan Stegman and I all started sort of talking about. We kind of started, I think, talking about some of our endpoints into comics, like what got us into comics each individually. I told how X-Men number 5 and X-Force number 9 were the first two I bought, and those kind of Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld drawings really sucked me in. And Stegman and I both had dads that read comics, although Stegman said his dad never told him that and like encouraged him to read them or anything until later, which was pretty funny. I didn't know that. And Ryan kind of gave the lowdown on how he came up with the original idea for the Schlub based on a lot of dental mishaps he had. He wanted to have a character that was a dentist that wasn't necessarily a great person, because Ryan doesn't like dentists. And we talked about how he worked through the scripts, how they would send me sort of Marvel-style scripts, and I was able to thumbnail and come up with panel layouts and sort of direct a lot of the action myself, and then send it back their way, and then the dialogue and stuff gets added in after that. So it's kind of a fun way to work, because it gives me a lot of leeway, and it also hopefully gives them a chance to tailor the wording specifically to kind of some of the visuals. So that was really fun, and it was really great. It was great to just talk process. Like I said, we had some really good questions. It was really, really, really fun. Then there was a lot of great artists there. Eli, you're absolutely right. Some of the ones I just named. John W. Saw you Friday. That's right. Yes. Okay. I was like, I thought it was this show, but I sometimes I feel like I see you at other shows, and I'm like, oh. But yeah, man, it looks like you've been real busy, which is awesome to see. Jerry. Hey, Jerry, good to see you, man. Missed you at C2E2. I'm not sure if you were there, but I didn't see you. I remember you came by last year and I think got a commission from me. Yeah, it was an awesome show. I mean, I feel like the Artist Alley was really stacked with awesome stuff. So, and then I got, some folks are always nice enough to come by and share their work with me, which, it's so great to like get cool comics without having to leave the table because I want to walk around and meet people and I want to talk to everybody, but sometimes it's just so busy, that getting away from your table can take, just getting to the bathroom can take you 20 minutes. And so you want to be there so that if somebody does come to your table to meet you, they get a chance to. But these folks all were people I had a chance to talk to. So I just wanted to show some of the stuff I got. I got this one. I believe the person who brought it by was the writer. I think his name is Oscar. And it's sort of a comic about his journey into creating comics and some mental health stuff. And it's a pretty neat little book. It has a lot of different sort of real world and fantasy elements mixed together. So that was pretty cool. It was really nice to talk to him. And these guys, what are they? Omega 2090, and I think it was the writer of this that came by to talk to me. Thayer, I believe, was his first name. Paul. Kind of a cool sci-fi book. Me, I love sci-fi. We got Eris going on, so this kind of stuff is kind of right up my alley. I think he has. Wait, is it multiple artists? No, it's the same artist across this. But it's a pretty neat looking book, pretty slick. The printing's real shiny. I haven't had a chance to read this one yet, but definitely thank you for bringing this to me. I will definitely. It's going on my reading pile. I got a big one right now. This is Agora, and this I got from Jacob. There's two Jacobs in this book. Two of them sat next to me at Heroes Con last year with another guy. and there are two of them are in this book, and Jacob, I believe Jacob Hennigan, is the one who brought this by my table, and it was really good to see him. I hadn't seen him since Heroes, and he was just bopping around the show. And this is kind of like, if you're into metal and like, fantasy stuff and like heavy metal and that kind of stuff, you might really dig this, because it's kind of it's like a black and white, lots of gore and fighting and axes and monsters, and there's 3 stories by 3 different artists. I guess it's George Berkeley, Jacob Dudek, and Jacob Hennigan. And I believe Dudek and Hennigan are the 2 guys I know from the show. He's got a really cool style. It's like very, there's a lot of straight lines and like angles, and I love that. He's doing some interesting stuff with some of his paneling here, stuff that I totally is like exactly the kind of thing that I do all the time. I like kind of triptychs, little triptych inserts. Pretty neat little book. And then this was the one that got me. This was the Jacob Hennigan's, man. So I was flipping through it, and then I got to this page right here, and I was like, whoa, it's like a giant castle made out of a gun, like on a mountain. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm into this. That's pretty rad. So I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, oh man, and some of this black and white stuff right here is really cool. It's really dense, but each little vignette is pretty clear still. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. So if you check these guys out, I think they're all here. You got, if you can see any of their contact information there, you can pause your video or whatever. I guess I could try to throw it down in there in the description. And then I got to see Minerva Fox, who I have not... I feel like I see her at C2E2 all the time, and I believe she streams at the exact same time as me on Tuesdays at like 8:30. So we actually, at the show, I was like, we need to do like a dual stream, since we're both streaming at the same time, we might as well do it together one time. So that might be in the near future. But Minerva streams and does sort of, this is the art that she makes, sort of like fan comics, a lot of stuff that's anime influenced and anime based. And similar to me, I feel a kindred spirit with her, because she has a day job and kids, and she creates comics at night. And I used to have a day job and create comics at night, but not when I had kids, and not while I, now, not like I do now. And I'm just always blown away by how productive she is and how strong the work is. So I try to pick up, she does so much stuff, it's hard to keep up with it, but every time I go, I try to pick up a different, like a different mini from her. So yeah, and she's a local person too, which is cool. But yeah, it's sort of like a Sailor Moon fan comic. But really cool drawing. She's got great expressions on the faces, some cool action moments. The pacing is really nice too, really well paced. Really fun stuff. I think her stuff's really fun, especially if you have any interest in something like Sailor Moon or the other things that she does fan comics for. I think it's be right up your alley. And she had some, I saw the original for this or one like this. I can't believe she's painting this stuff like on paper. It's amazing. And you can tell in a good way, right? It doesn't look digital to me. So I say it's amazing because so many people, a lot of us work digitally a lot for colors, and you don't see this wonderful craftsmanship here. Now, if she did this digitally and I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm a fool, but I believe I saw some originals on her table. But yeah, she streams at the same time if you pop over to her channel. But she's Blue Troller on all the socials, like blue_troller, and she's cool. So check out her stuff. Okay, so what else did I do? Oh, if you look at my stories from the last few days, you might have seen, I should just do a post about it on Instagram and Twitter, but I did a pencil and ink exchange with my buddy Dave Acosta, and where is it? Darn it, where did I put it? Anyway, let me see if I can find that. It's right over here, I think. I want to show you guys. Where did I put it? Okay. Well, I'm not going to make you guys sit here and wait for me. Anyway, if you look at my socials, you'll see that I did this pencil and ink exchange with Dave Acosta. I drew a cable, which I did on my stream the other night. And then I did he did a clown, Violator clown from Spawn, and that was a blast. So we did a pencil and ink exchange, and whoops, hey, hello, and also Ryan Lee gave me one. My buddy Ryan Lee, I put a link to his stuff in the description. He had this pencil thing there, but when he gave it to me, it was like on Saturday, and then I got like a few little sketchbook commissions, and so I didn't get to inking this. So I was like, hey, can I just hang on to it, and I'm going to ink it on my stream. So we are going to ink this on the stream in just a minute here, but I did want to show these little things. Sometimes I'll dig into my long boxes and bring stuff out because I'm looking at it and show y'all. And I try to pick things that are like maybe a little bit less like known than others. So I'm going to show you that really quick, and then we're going to see what we can make a dent on inking this. I'm not sure if I'll get it all done because Ryan's got a lot of awesome details in here. So in the, what was it, the mid to late 90s, 95, they came out with this magazine from Image Comics called The Mighty. I remember being really intrigued by this image from the Wildstorm Rising, and it was by Barry Windsor Smith, and it looked so different than like all the other image artists to me, which is interesting because Barry Windsor Smith was probably a pretty big influence on a lot of those guys, especially the guys over at Jim Lee's studio, and well, honestly, Top Cow as well. But anyway, so I was already sort of aware of this image from like a magazine, and then I saw this came out, and it's like an image-specific magazine. I mean, it's comic book size, but the idea is that it's got previews and stuff and articles and things. Not sure how well it delivers on the promise of whatever it is. You know, you'll see here. This thing is number one. The design on this is just absolutely atrocious. I mean, it's just a mess. This whole thing, from the cover to the insides, all of it. You can't read half of it. I mean, what is going on here? This is how they show us all the different. It's like they just got Photoshop or something, or I don't know, or like clip art. I don't know. It's like, these are all the different sections of the magazine. Some of them you can't even read like what it says because it's like hidden in there. But anyway, ad for the Max and MTV. That was a good show. And so really what it is just them pitching you stuff and telling you that they're awesome. So this is all about like all the deals they're making in toys and animation for Wildstorm. Talks about these awful toys they made. Some of the worst from all the Image guys. I hate to say it because I love Wildcats. And they talk about this Gen 13 cartoon, which I don't think ever really... if they made much of it, it wasn't a lot. I feel like that turned out to be some sort of short animated movie, maybe. But yeah, kind of like Wizard Eli, but like just Image. And then you get to this, and this is like a... What is this? It's like a family photo contest or something, where you're supposed to name all the people in their image here. But look at this. Like, you can't read it. Like, it's the people, and it's got an illustration in the background that's just sort of like dimmed a little bit, and then just black text on top of that. It hurts my eyes to look at this. And then they look at the crossword puzzles printed on top of a Max drawing, but not in any meaningful way. It's just sort of like stick it on there. And all the clues and stuff are just ridiculous and so specific to every single one of their comics that you would have to read like all Image comics to get the answer. But then they tried to do a Brutes and Babes kind of thing. But what's great about this is that I feel like the information that they're giving you is actually more useful than some of the Brutes and Babes stuff, because it talks about storytelling and page layout, which is the thing that when you're looking at people's portfolios when they're first starting out, a lot of times they can draw really well, like figures and stuff, like you learn in Brutes and Babes, but they don't always talk about layout. I'm sure they did do some of that in Brutes and Babes at some point, but historically it focused on some other things. And this gives you like technical details, like here's how big the live art area should be on your page, blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of cool. But it's written by Jim Valentino, and I don't know how everyone else feels about Jim Valentino. He's very capable. He's a very capable storyteller, and I like that he focused on storytelling for this. But even this, too, it's just like, why do you have the words like this is like a original art page supposedly behind here, but it's like got words on it, and then they're laying words on top of the words. Oh my gosh. Oh, and look at the letters here. They got dark images behind dark text. So these are just readers asking questions. And then the middle here is just all ads for different books coming out. So this is just ads for books, descriptions of books, merch. This Wetworks shirt is pretty rad. And then this Team 7 shirt right here, you probably won't be able to see it. It's got an image from the Aaron Weisenfeld Team 7 series. That is super rad. Yeah, Eli, you see, man. It's so busy, isn't it? We got the Supreme Prophet Apocalypse thing. And of course, this is all printed on the glossiest paper known to man, so you can't read half of it. And then you got to flip it over to the other side, and it's almost like this is the Todd, Eric. It's like some of the guys on this side, some of the guys on this side. And you got some stuff in here that's more specific to them. Again, just awful, just the worst possible layout you can think of. And hey, look at that Killraiser. Anybody remember Killraiser from the hit series codename Strike Force? How well is that aged? This guy could just make blades come out of every part of his body. It's kind of like Wolverine had claws, and then Warblade could like make sharp objects of his hands. Ripclaw had fingers that were sharp, and then they're like, this guy could just have blades come out all out of his body from everywhere. So that's hilarious. What else we got here? This is where different people will be appearing, different comic book shows. I always find this kind of interesting, like what shows were popular then and who would be at them. So like this would be 95. WonderCon had Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson, Sergio Aragonis, Murat Michaels. Phoenix Con 2 had Todd, Greg Capullo, Murat Michaels. Silvestri and Fraga over in Pittsburgh. At Heroes Con, Todd McFarlane was a special guest. That's the exact same show. Chicago Comic Con in Rosemont out here. Nobody knows who's going to be there. Got Jay Lee, Jason Pearson, Al Simmons, and William Messner Loebs. I don't know who that is. Dragon Con. And then San Diego, nobody knows. Here's a Spawn thing where the two, Tony Daniel and Kevin Conrad, kind of like a Q&A thing. I haven't read that. And then this is like a, just like all things Spawn. So it's like, here's Todd and his wife and his child, and here they are goofing off in his house, and here's the hockey and soccer teams that Todd McFarlane Studios sponsored, and their funny car racer that they sponsored, the Spawnmobile. Pretty cool. And then Todd Toys, of course, and then ads. Oh wait, no, this is Studio Spotlight on Eric Larson's studio, Highbrow. This is a checklist for the books. It just tells you, here's the books that have come out. Did people actually go through these, you think, and like check off, like, do I have issue 5? Do I have issue 6? Do I have issue, I don't know, maybe. Maybe when I was a kid I would have done that. And then here's a little retailer spotlight, which is kind of interesting. And then I love seeing fan art. I was actually looking up a bunch of these people just to be like, hey, is this guy like still drawing? Like did they get like better? I think there was somebody in the second issue that did. I'm not going to go through the whole second issue. I am going to point out something on this ridiculous cover. So on the Mighty #2, you've got this Jim Valentino's new series called The Alliance, which I don't remember at all. I mean, when I saw this cover, I was like, who is that? Anyway, but if you look, Jim's signature is flipped here. And so is Dan Davis is the inker. So they flipped this image. Like, they got it all done and colored, and then for some reason they thought, we have to flip it so that they're pointing that way. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you just design, like around it? I don't know. Again, just bizarre design decisions. So Wildstar. That book was actually pretty cool. Al Gordon and Jerry Ordway. So here's the thing about Valentino's space book called The Alliance and all these ridiculous characters. Oh, here we go. This is the Max art contest, right? So I think the contest was like make a Max page or something. The guy who won is this person here, which is Darren Bader. And I looked up Darren Bader, and they were like an art director at Rockstar Games formerly, and now they paint like amazing paintings and drawings of like wildlife. So go follow Darren Bader and tell him how much you liked his Max page contest winner. And here's another, how-to thing. They do a feature on a Whilce Partasio Wetworks page, which I'm into. I love Whilce. I love Wetworks. And he goes about how, the storytelling on the page works. And then they give you some thumbnails that you can work over for a contest for the next issue. I don't know if they did 3 issues of this. And then ads. Vanguard, whoever that is. Somebody from Eric, I think. What else we got in here? Anything interesting? Oh, Astro City. I remember this book being really good when I finally read it years after it came out, but now I can't remember the book at all. I don't know if anyone else is an Astro City fan out there. Oh, hey, Ryan Lee is here. Ryan, I'm going to start inking you in a minute, buddy. I'm just showing off some ridiculous Image Comics The Mighty. Okay, so I don't know. Did anybody read this? Kurt Busiek, right? Is that his name? Busiek? How do you say it? Yeah, Astro City. I remember the covers and stuff, being pretty cool. And then we look at Top Cow Studios and like this ridiculous sculpture of Ripclaw. It's like a balloon. I don't know. It's ridiculous. More Sergio Aragonis. For some reason, they had Sergio on like retainer at Image back then. More merch. I would love to snag one of these. Dude, look at this. There's a Fairchild, Gen 13, a Fairchild door poster. A black and white door poster. That'd be like a life-size Fairchild. That is creepy. Reader stuff. Retailers. Oh, here we go. More fan art. I think I looked up one of these guys was still working. Maybe not. This guy's in Chicago, Jose Garcia. Anybody know him? This Ripclaw image is pretty cool. Raskin and Nolan. Nolan can ink anybody and make them look cool. I, on the other hand, cannot just ink anybody and make them look cool. I can sometimes match the coolness of cool pencilers like Ryan Lee. So, I could be wrong. This says 1 of 365. I don't know if that means Ryan is doing one of these or did one of these every day for a year. He could probably tell you. I read it. Cool stuff. Yes, you did, Ryan. But maybe Ryan could tell us. And I definitely have not done one draw. Well, no. There's days I haven't drawn. There's no way I've drawn 365 days a year. Maybe the equivalent of, like if you look at hours of work, in a day. Okay, I actually have no idea how I'm going to approach this because this is so this is so different from A, what I draw, B, how I draw, and like C, the level of detail I go to with my pencils, right? So this is going to be a lot of fun. But if it's a complete failure, I will apologize to you, the viewer, and to you, Ryan Lee, if it looks terrible. But I might have to try a different approach than I normally use. I will say these pencils, I'm not sure how well it's all going to show up, but they are extremely tight, y'all. And so I feel like I need to at least attempt to try to stick to what's going on in the pencils. Now, there's room for interpretation because there are some areas that are sort of like just, side of the pencil sketchy, like up in here. So I would have to decide what I'm going to do with that. So the first question I'm asking myself is, do I want to use big black shadows on parts of that stuff, right? And parts here, or do I want to build up hatch lines? Part of me wants to use a few solid blacks on here just because there's like a delicateness to everything here, and I think maybe a little bit of weight might help. Also, that's usually the only way I know how to get started with that stuff, so let's just go for it. I don't think anyone's going to be mad, right, if I mess it up. I think I hurt my foot this weekend or sometime last week. It's like when I bend it like this on my toe, it like hurts across the top. So if anybody is a doctor out there and can tell me what's up with that, and you know what, I should get a blotter piece or something here. Let me get a thing here, some paper. Here we go. All right. My daughter wanted me to draw a person sleeping in a bed, so that's what that is. And then she didn't want anything else on that piece of paper. So, all right. I usually get really nervous working on other people's stuff just because I want to match, I want to put as much care into it as they did. And so, but I try to let go of that, because if you're just nervous, you won't do good work. So it's best to just trust yourself and trust that the person gave you enough to work with that you can make something cool. And I am going to do some interpretation here because I do want it to feel like it's me and Ryan. I think inkers should have a voice. They are a dying breed, that's for sure. It's hard to just ink, I think, nowadays, to sell yourself as just an inker. If you have someone you normally work with, that can usually help. But I was talking to someone at my table this weekend, and they wanted to show me their portfolio, and they said they wanted to be a penciler, and their work was really nice. They did really good work. But I said, if you don't have an inker already, it's, it might be a little more difficult to get in a job, because you're kind of saying, okay, I can do half the job. Can you find someone else to do the rest of it? And that's not really what it is, but that's, I think, the way a lot of editors and stuff maybe are thinking now, because there are so many artists that do ink themselves. So, I told them, find an inker, but also just like learn how to ink your own stuff too, so that you have that versatility and you just have a deeper understanding of drawing. I don't know if that's good advice or not, but that's what I told him. I've been trying to get more delicate with the brush pen here, and it's been really fun. If you get a good one, it's pretty capable of giving you some really fine lines. Like, none of the ones I'm doing right at this second are probably showing up great. So he's got it looks like he's got like a floating head here, which is pretty cool. I watched one of my live videos the other day, and I was just sort of, it's weird, you don't really watch yourself draw like what you look like. And I was sort of watching, and I was like, is that, like, that's what it looks like when I'm drawing? Like, that's how my hand moves and stuff? I don't know, it was sort of like one of those weird moments, I guess. So Ryan tried to do 365 a year and failed. But you know what? Failure is the first, or what is, I don't know how to say it. Failure is necessary. You got to have failure before success. Nobody has success without failure, right? That's what I've been told. It might have been one of the other lies that the world has told me, but I'm going to believe it for now. I'm sure you're all digging the clock sound. I know, I have a clock. I kind of like it. Eli, I've been working on my portfolio, doing less reference studies. Drawing is weird. Push dirt around the page and show you a screenshot from my brain. Yeah, man. Hey, Derek. What's up, dude? I missed you this weekend, buddy. That's an interesting way to put it, Eli. I sometimes do feel like I'm just moving things around and sort of trying things. But there's these Zen moments where you sort of, you're not really questioning it. You're just sort of like going with it. Those are hard to find sometimes, but when you get in them, they're really nice. C2E2 is awesome, dude. I was talking about it a little bit earlier. We had a schlub panel, which was great. It was cool to sign books for people. table next to my good friend Kenny and Ryan Lee and Dave Acosta and Landis Blair and see so many pals. Had a really good time. A really good time. And hey, I even sold a few things. So. Oh, and one of the highlights for me was, other than the show, was this weekend. My friend Riley Rossmo was here from Canada, and I've only met Riley in real life once, and it was before I was friends with him. And now I talk to him all the time and consider him a good bud. And he was in town from Canada, and it was so cool to see him too. And also some other acquaintances were great to see that I don't see often outside of shows, like Felix Liu and Yams and Lambert and those guys. It was cool to see everybody there. But yeah, Riley being in town was great. Really cool. Got to hang out with him a little bit. An amazing artist, and let me tell y'all, when you guys see the next thing that Riley is working on, you guys are it's gonna blow your minds. You're gonna love it. You are gonna love it. It's gonna be so cool. I can't wait for the announcement. This is a cool claw hand here, Ryan Lee, if you're still there. I'm really into it. I'm trying to give it a little bit of wobble, a little wobble bounce with that brush line. I'm still trying to be pretty delicate here for you, though. I don't want to lose your lines completely. Okay. Eli, thank you. I'm glad that the streams are helping out, man. I'm glad they are. A lot of it is mental, man. I'll say a lot of it is mental. And the other half is just conditioning and repetition. If you do something enough times, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get smoother at it. Finding the inspiration and the will to do it is the hard part. So, if you got to persevere, man. Thanks, Derek. Hey, Ichthus here. It was very good, Ichthus. I will give the brief. It was awesome. And then check out the earlier part of the stream to get the full details and some books that I showed off that I got there. It was a really good time, though. A really cool, good time. All right, let's not get carried away here, Tyrell. Let's look at the pencil lines. Sometimes I wonder, like, I've only worked with inkers a few times just for fun, really, and I've always wondered, like, how do you, like, how often are you getting what you want? I mean, I'm sure if you worked with somebody a lot, you're probably getting it a lot, but I'm always, are you just, you kind of have to go into it with this openness of like, well, this is going to turn out how it turns out. That's part of the fun part when I do them with people, is that it's just kind of exciting to see what different combinations bring out. Makes you think about your own work, but also the other person's work. Yeah, I do got a second camera right now. You can see my beautiful face, but very, very small. I like to keep it like that for now. Ryan Lee, you're welcome. But yes, I had a great time at C2E2. Trying to think what else happened at the show that was significant. I maybe got a little wild one night. I apologize for that. I was having a good time. No, I will say I'm exhausted. I did not sleep nearly enough this weekend, and I feel like today's the first day I felt like I kind of caught up on sleep. Because it's just been really difficult, and I've got so much work to do, and I've just been trying to persevere. It's one day at a time. If there's just not enough hours in the day sometimes, but we're still gonna do this. This is fun. Here's a little. This is hilarious over here. Doing. There's a little dart here. Funny guy, that Ryan Lee. Funny guy. Oh, you know, I get wild sometimes, every now and again. However wild a 40-year-old comic book artist dad can get. Ooh, these are a little fun little like hairy arm here. Well, that's kind of fun. I'm bouncing around a lot. I should probably be a little careful about that because I don't know what this paper. This paper seems to be holding ink all right. Let's just turn it over here. Let's give this a big one-stroke line here to get that going. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of tie it up nice, you know? Sometimes just doing a pen stroke with one without picking it up, whether you vary the width and stuff or not, it somehow just makes that line carry a little more structural weight, you know, as opposed to kind of like slowly etching in everything. And so like then if you go in and do some hatching next to that, it's just somehow going to read differently. And that's usually a good way to kind of bring a detailed drawing a little more kind of weight and like structure so that it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. Oh, I got to get a little angly here. Sorry, bud. I got to do some little chunky angles right there. That's just too beautiful. There we go. Yeah. All right. He's shaping up. He's shaping up. Does this guy... I don't know if Ryan's still there. I wonder if this guy has a name. Jeremy Heiler. Hello, pal. That's some good La Croix. That's wild me drinking that La Croix. Okay, what do I want to do here? Let's give this head a shot and this claw up here a shot. I didn't think I was going to use the brush this long, but I'm kind of flowing with it now, so. New cam, yeah, sort of. I mean, it's just my computer. That was the other thing, is I used to try to do the face cam on some of the earlier streams, but I was using like an actual webcam and it was blowing out. And I was like, well, I can use this desk cam. People just got to see me from far away. These little details, Ryan. I don't know what you're doing to your eyes, pal. Hold my breath. Hold my breath there. Okay. Now, I really want to... Well, decisions, right? let's go on this guy's little gun over here. See, now Ryan, I would guess, would have built up most of this with hatch lines, which is something he's excellent at. I used to do that a little bit more than I do now, but I'm just too impatient, I think, and I'm kind of trying to be faster in general. So part of it's a challenge too, just like making myself go a little faster. You know, because there's advantages to that sometimes, depending on what you're doing. You know, not every book needs that look, and not every person needs that look. But for me, in my limited time that I have, I need to speed up, you know, so I've been trying to get a little faster. He's got like a, I don't even know what this material is, you know, like some of it looks kind of like it could be metal, like right here. And then this is sort of like cloth, but then it sort of turns into, I don't know what, it's like a mouth holding an egg or something. He's got a special imagination, he does, I'll tell you. Ocelot, like ocelot. I like it. That's good. That's good. But we're going to do this mouth up top here for sure with the brush pen, because we want that to pop a little bit, so it seems like it's sitting in front of the sort of like dress shape that's behind it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Boy, okay, okay. Don't betray me, brush pen. I don't ink over blue pencil really much either. That's another thing that's pretty different about this for me, is that I usually am just inking over graphite. Getting a little hairy down here, but we'll figure it out. When in doubt, black it out. That's what they say. So again, I want to give these legs a little bit of like support here. So I'm going to try to just do one stroke on the outline here. And then we'll let this stay hairy. Some weight there. Why would I lie? The signature's good too, man. I feel like that's not how you used to sign it, but maybe I'm crazy. All right. I sort of just morphed my signature a little bit again. I usually kind of shift it just a little bit every few years. Sort of like, it just sort of like evolves. It's a cool foot here. I like these little toes. I'm gonna try to do them justice. All right. That's looking cool, right? All right. Where else can we use the brush pen? And then maybe we'll try a little something smaller. Maybe the zebra. Oh, here we go. Let's do a chunk on these fingers. I really like that shape there. I can't really tell exactly what you had on the hand here, dude, but I'm just gonna draw it for you. Sorry, I'm in the camera, guys. I just gotta get in here. There we go. This is a ridiculous drawing, dude. You're a maniac. I could never draw anything like this. I am too stuck in reality for my own good, let me tell you. There's a certain energy that Ryan's drawings have that it's uniquely Ryan, but at the same time it brings to mind I don't know, like the kind of stuff that when you're like 13, like 12 or 13, maybe like 11 to 13, you're just like you get to that age and you can sort of appreciate things being weird, but not necessarily weird in a threatening way, I guess. Not that Ryan can't do horror, he does, but there's like this, you see old toys in it, you see old cartoons in it, and there's like a comfort to its weirdness, and I quite enjoy it. I always think of like Mad Balls and Garbage Pail Kids and all that, when I'm looking at Ryan's stuff, and it makes me feel good. And it's not that it looks like that stuff really, as much as it just sort of has that energy, And, like my stuff does not have that energy. It's just a different thing, But it's pretty special the way it's captured here. Okay. It's so tempting to black some of these parts out, but I want to try to do some hatching. I want to do it justice here. Well, okay, one more. I want to do this the cross head thing here, so that all of our big structures kind of have a consistent tool use that kind of helps tie it together a little bit. At least that's my logic when I do that. A little La Croix. Like David Lynch movies. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So, see if I can get it to focus a little bit closer here. You can kind of see there's still a lot of hatch detail to find in there and some little things. So we're going to see what kind of details we can get with this guy. Oh, not that guy. I want a fresh one. Where did my fresh one go? I guess we're going to get a fresh one. Oh, well, we'll get that later. Where? That's my zebra. Aha. Here we go. Oh, he's getting a fresh one. Ooh, we're in trouble now, guys. We got a fresh zebra pen. Oh, and it's got that grease on it. Ugh. Let me wipe this off. Fresh zebra pens are wonderful. Wonderful. Except for when they have this grease all over them. Alright. Sometimes there's grease on the tip up here. I don't know if it's from just part of the manufacturing process or something more nefarious, but I'm going to assume that it's normal and not going to hurt me. Okay, here we go. Did I get it off? Okay. Okay. Nice fresh pen. Okay. Let me see if I can do this without getting in the way of the camera. You know what I don't like about these tight blue pencils, Ryan Lee, is that if I miss anything, you'll know. Like if I don't ink these little notches and everything, it'll be like, oh, why aren't those inked? So it's a pretty sneaky way to make sure that your inker does everything they're supposed to do. Oliver 656, hello. Hello. What was this? Inking is so nice, man. I can see the attraction to being an inker. It's like all the fun parts. You know, the inking part is my favorite part. If you miss a line, we're through. I was hearing some stories this weekend about conflicts between inkers and pencilers teams. How some of the classic duos have had some tiffs. I cannot divulge exactly what I heard about who, but ooh, I love these little sharp but you get enough comic book artists in a room, not only is it a bunch of weirdos, but you hear stories. You hear stories about people, what they do, what they like, what they don't like, who's a weirdo. Gossip, that's what they call it. Gossip. Yeah, gossip. This is dangerous here, Ryan. I can see how you get lost in this, man. Okay. I feel like this needs something up here. It's like you got these, he's got these areas where it's sort of, yeah, like just like a pencil shading. And so, again, I'm sure Ryan would hatch it all out. So I'm going to hatch some of that and just kind of see if we can make it work. Even though that's not what I normally do. Or, yeah, it's not true. It's not what I do lately. But I do like hatching. Like, if I just want to zone out, I'll just start on a page just with nothing and just kind of hatch my way into a figure and then kind of build around it. You know, those rare opportunities to draw for fun. I feel like this is a good guy. I could be wrong, but this guy seems like a good guy, like a good guy monster. Maybe he's a little goofy, maybe he's a little misguided, but he's maybe basically good. Correct me though if I'm wrong. So I'm just trying to get in there and get some hatching going. I'm also having to hunch over a bit to see this here. Anybody else out there working tonight? I know some of y'all usually are. Jeremy's working. Derek's working. Always working. Okay, gotta lean in for a second here, guys. These eyes are adorable, so I want to get them right. I wish you guys could see this. I'm gonna have to put it on a scan up because these eyes are adorable. He's got little whiskers here. I'll get out of the way again. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. What a cutie. And of course, Ryan's got 10 billion teeth in his mouth, as there should be on any drawing. Third book of the year, Jeremy. Way to go. Second Batman story. Keep going, man. You keep up that pace, you'll be shocked at how much better you feel about your work and how much more it just flows from you. Volume is a big part of it. That whole thing about drawing 10,000 pages before you are really doing it is probably true. Or, maybe not 10,000, 1,000 pages. Because every year that I draw more, it just feels like I'm on some new level of understanding, and that's not even to mean like it's more than someone else. It's just more of a personal thing. It's like I personally feel more comfortable and more, whether you realize it or not, because you're always looking for the next step is the problem, but you will get better and you will improve. Kendrick versus Drake beef? No. Derek, I do love hip hop, but I can't say I'm a big fan of Kendrick or Drake. I can respect Kendrick, don't get me wrong. For the newer guys, he's pretty good, but I don't really connect with his music in a meaningful way personally. And Drake is a joke. Sorry, but Drake is a joke. So, he doesn't even write his own stuff. So, I've not been following it, other than I know that they've been diss tracks have come out, right? Is that true? Is there more to the story than that? I thought there was diss tracks, and then somebody apologized for the diss track or took it down, or I don't know. Honestly, what it made me do was I was looking up a bunch of old LP diss tracks earlier in Cage versus Eminem and all that stuff, old stuff. But yeah, sorry, Derek. If you're a Kendrick fan or a Drake fan, I wouldn't imagine you are not a Drake fan, Derek. Derek, you're not a Drake fan, are you, Derek? Come on, man. But is it getting serious? Is somebody gonna get shot or something? If that's the case, I want to know what's going on. Oh, Kendrick responded. He better have burned him good then. I should listen to it because I can't imagine it's not fire. Oh, you do like Drake. That's okay. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. So, are you rooting for Drake or Kendrick? Whose side are you on in this beef, man? What I've been listening to lately. I don't know if anybody else is into it, but I've just kind of been sort of discovering Billy Woods. I sort of was barely aware of him in the past, and so I've been jamming some Billy Woods lately, and that's pretty good. It's kind of it's a little it might be a little hard for people that don't listen to a lot of hip hop because it's almost experimental sometimes, but it's really really cool stuff. I love his style too. Well, now I feel like I've offended you, Derek. I'm sorry, pal. I didn't mean any harm. Kendrick's side. Here you go. Okay, okay. Yeah, he is weird. Billy Wids is very weird, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that he's weird. I like that all the records sound very different. But the one I was jamming today was that what is it? The Future Will Absolve Me. Man, that record is super dope. It's really cool. It's really cool. I feel like I haven't really heard anything quite like it, and that's always fun. Well, I'll have to listen to the Kendrick track after this, since I can't listen to it on the stream. Ryan, I'm getting this crazy gun here. I hope I'm doing it justice. Some of the lines are they're open for interpretation, so I'm sort of... I like all these little chords he's got up here. This stuff might be kind of hard to see, but we're doing, all these little chords on the side of the gun here. I was doing a little bit of, some of the line work on the gun here. Trying to keep it sort of like a little more, give some solidness to it. Ryan's stuff has a very textured feel, which is awesome. It's maybe not my strong point, so I'm trying to go with a more, how can we make it feel cartooned and a little more like solid rather than that, just so that fits what I'm capable of. As Clint Eastwood said, or as Dirty Harry said, a man's got to know his limitations. But yeah, I should have showed off. I got a couple pieces from Dave Acosta, but one of them was for my brother, and I already sent it to him. So I didn't keep it long enough to have it on the stream, but it was a cool Wolverine sketch he had done. Or Logan sketch, I should say. He's another guy that understands the hatch game really well, to build up sort of shapes. And I've been using it differently lately, and so I'm struggling a little bit here. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to do at least one level of cross-hatching, or at least 2 levels of cross-hatching here for you. I'm giving you the special deal. I'm actually cross-hatching. This is fun. This is very fun. Degrassi. Degrassi Junior High, man. I remember when that show was on. Doesn't Drake get killed on this show? Doesn't he get shot or something? I'm sure that gif is making the rounds right now. The internet's so predictable. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks cool. Whatever he drew and however I'm inking it is looking cool, even though I don't know exactly what it is. Some sort of weapon, I think, is back here. Sticking in his back pocket. because here's the other thing is that I know, see, if these were my pencils, and I'm sure it's similar with Ryan, sometimes he has like a little scribble here, and I'm sure he has a way he would know he'd want to maybe hatch that out or whatever, and I'm using my fill for that, right? So there's like a little scribble here on this handle, so I'm just like, because that's what I would do. And that's the kind of thing that comes out when someone else is on your work. You can kind of just see what decisions you've left for ink, and how your pencils interpret to other people. It's pretty fun. We're getting there though, guys. I didn't think I would make this big of a dent tonight on this, but we might just finish it. But I can finish it. We'll see how long this takes. But let's get started on it after we do this doing. Okay, so I think we want to do some hatching on this arm here, okay? He's got it almost like this is a tone, right? So he wants it to look different from this one as far as the tone of it. So I think I'm going to just have to build up some hatching. We'll see what happens. If I get carried away, well, we'll just see what happens. Okay, so let's start with... Oh, Ryan's leaving. That's okay. I'll show you when it's done, Ryan Lee. You sleep good, buddy. Derek Jones, who else had a huge crush on Emma? The hard-hitting questions are on the stream tonight. Degrassi questions. I honestly don't remember many episodes of Degrassi. I'm not sure how many I've seen. I better finish this soon because it is getting late, isn't it? And I do have to do actual work tomorrow. I am beyond busy, and it's not even as good as that sounds. It's just that I had the show, and so I couldn't work really on my project that I have going right now, or my second project that I have going right now. So I just feel behind on everything. But I really did want to jump on here and do something for myself since it's been such a busy weekend. And then yesterday was a lot of just unpacking, resetting. I got to spend a little more time with Riley. Which is all good, but the pressure is on sometimes. So we're building up a little tone here. This isn't the greatest tool for cross-hatching, not on this paper at least. I would prefer this on like a smoother paper. This one's a little more toothy. This feels like a vellum. On a vellum, a brush just feels better, which is probably why I was having so much luck with my brush pen. But I don't trust it for these tiny spots here. Sorry guys, just gonna lean in here again. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. How often do I get to do that? My wrist already hurts. Artist view, hey, well, it's new for tonight, kind of. I've done it a couple times in the past, but it didn't work very well. I don't know if it's interesting. Do you guys want it? Do you like it? Do you like me here, even though it's far away? If you do, let me know in the comments. If you don't, I mean, I don't care. I'll do what I want. Okay. I think we're closing in on it, though. We're getting there. I'm going to do a lot of these other details, and I might go back to that arm in a minute. But I want to get some of these other layers of hatching going so that I sort of know how it all plays together a little bit better. And I might leave that as a single line right there. I kind of like that. A little fatter. Sort of reads as a separate texture. That's nice. I'm saving this big egg in his crotch for last. Only Ryan Lee could do that. Oh, Henry, I was going to ask, I just saw some footage from some new Warhammer PS5 game. Looked crazy. I didn't know about this. It's not the bolt gun one either. That one's awesome too. I've been playing that, but the other one, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like PS5 Warhammer game. And I was like, whoa. The footage looked pretty cool. I am a fake Warhammer fan. Like, I think it's so cool, and I read stuff and I look at the art, but I don't actually play the game. I'm a poser Warhammer guy. Deal with it. A knee cam. Hey, my knee doesn't shake nearly as much as it used to. And I haven't been wearing clamshells. I've been wearing Adidas canvases lately. I'll get back to the shell toe eventually, but I decided to evolve a little bit, you know? Tyrell TV, that's right. All right, guys, where are we at here? And I still got to decide what I'm doing down here. But Henry's right. I have for, I don't know, 20 years only worn Adidas shell toes as my sneaker of choice. But I've branched out to other Adidas, so... And I think I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do just a couple more things with the pen here. This pen. And then I'm going to switch to a micron to do some really tiny hatching, which will probably not be very interesting to see, but it is the last thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you kind of what it's going to look like now. So right now we got a pretty good layer up here on the top. But if I can just get a little bit of fineness in a few spots here, I think we're going to be in good shape. And I'm debating if I want this to be a drop shadow that's solid or something hatched. I am leaning towards solid because I hatched out a lot of things already to appease the hatching gods. Essential fan information. And I'm also going to go ahead and do his name, because his signature, because I'm going to do it with this pen. So this is such a cool signature. I didn't take a very good picture of this, did I? Before I should have taken a better photo of the blue lines. Oh well, darn it. You win some, you lose some. All right, let's get a tiny, ridiculously small micron. It's, you know, a ridiculous thing to use. And let's do some little, some other touches here with that. All right, just a little bit here and there. Okay, so we're going to try to do some hatching on this egg thing. We're going to see what happens, okay? Hello, Yo Victor. Thank you for joining in. All right, here we go. The piece de résistance, or what do they say? I don't remember how they say that. So I think what I'm thinking here is I need to try to match the actual volume of this a little bit. And of course I didn't really do what I just said I wanted to do. But we're going to try. We're going to try to fix it here. Part of it is is finding your rhythm with hatching, and I really have not done that tonight, but when you do, it's a lot easier. All right. That's okay. That's not bad. Let's just fill that. All right. We got to bring some of these vein lines back because that sort of lost him in there. I'm gonna have to guess a little bit, but bring some of that back in here. All right, we're going to do a drop shadow. And then that might be it, folks. A Ryan Lee Tyrell Cannon Jam. I don't know if we've done one of these before. This might be the first ever. Might be the last, might be the first of many. I don't know. We'll see. But this is sure fun. If you've never done this with your friends that draw, you should. It's really fun to just trade your pencils and inks and just sort of give it up to them and see what they come up with. And I learn something every time. I feel like I learned something inking somebody else, and I also learned something seeing my stuff inked by somebody else. Really helps you to sort of learn something new about your process and the way you construct things. At least that's what it does for me. I should say that's how it helps me. Everyone else will get their own results, of course. Sorry, Ryan, I'm going to have to add one back here too. Just because that would make more sense. There he is. This little guy. What do y'all think? Think it looks all right? Think that's worthy? I think that's pretty darn cool. I guarantee that's not what it looked like if Ryan had done it. It would be much more modeled and beautiful and intricate. But hey, you know, cool to see the combo. Thanks everybody for checking out the stream. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, you really should. The other thing you should do is subscribe to my mailing list, my newsletter. You can go to the link at tyrellcannon.com, and you can find my newsletter there to sign up right at the bottom. And I don't spam you, and I tell you all about new products when they're coming out. It's a great place to follow my work. So please go check that out. Please like my videos and subscribe and watch some of the old ones. That stuff helps me out. It really does. And maybe, who knows, maybe you'll see something cool on there. I hopefully will be back next week. And I hope everyone can join me. If I'm not back next week, I'll be back the week after that. Hope you guys are all having good nights, whether you're drawing or doing something else. And thanks for spending time with me. We'll see you later.